You know, today we have another chance of storms. Yesterday was a big day. We had at least about 13 tornadoes, and even most of these taking place in the South Metro. And we had all of our team of storm trackers out there. We had Hank and Patty Brown, the tornado that actually went over Hank. But this particular video was from that tornado in Cole. You can kind of actually see that debris cloud, and this actually took place at night. You can see just how great that video is coming in from that camera that Val and Amy Castor have. We also had Brandon Pennell. We had our team trackers from our Channel 6 station, and this is the particular tornado that was in Goldsby that David referred to as the Wizard of Oz tornado, because now obviously at night, so we've got the black and white going, and man, it's not mistakable. Okay, that is at least an EF1, possibly up to an EF2 tornado, but the surveys will be done today. And Jim Gardner, he was actually flying early this morning on some of the damage in Noble. You can see that was the donut shop, and then next door to some of these shops were obviously other businesses and homes, and yeah, a lot of structural damage. So unfortunately, we're going to be doing some cleanup there today and for the next several days to come. Today, though, let's go ahead and go to Links 1. We've got some more severe weather, unfortunately, that we will be tracking. Today, we've got lots of sun out to the west. You can see the clouds still bubbling up just off to the east. So there's where that dry line is, and this is the area where you currently see the clouds that we're going to be watching very closely later this afternoon and evening. So for now, Next Gen Live, it's pretty quiet, but these storms should be starting probably after about 3, 4 o'clock or so. But Next Gen Live, for now, it is very quiet. In fact, we do have some sunshine in Oklahoma City. The Star Integris camera of our Lucky Star Sky Cam network, we're at 81 degrees. The wind today out of the south with a gust of 28, dew point of 71. There is plenty of moisture to work with. So with this being said, some of the storms could produce quite a bit of rain, and flooding could even be an issue here later this afternoon and evening. Temperatures upper 70s to low 80s. We do have some mid 80s kind of showing up in the southwest with the south wind between about 15 to 25. So you can kind of see where that dry line is. Behind that, it's more of a west to northwest wind between about 15 to as much as around 35. So today, again, it's going to be all ahead of where that dry line is. So closer to I-35 or basically even I-44. I think that's where that chance of rain and storms will be highest today. Anytime between about 1 and 3, 4 o'clock or so, we could still see some isolated storms just off to the south and east. And there'd be a low severe threat, but I think after about 4 o'clock, that's when some of the data is bringing in these stronger storms, and that could include the metro. But right now, the higher chances that would include the South Metro. Just like yesterday, we could see some of these stronger storms that will eventually increase in intensity. And right now, a lot of the data bringing in a lot of the stronger storms in parts of South Central Oklahoma, and then late this evening and overnight tonight, that severe threat diminishes quite a bit, but we could still have some rain around, with more rain expected as we get into tomorrow. So looking at future rotating storms. So now we're looking for those rotating supercells. Again, today, a lot of that threat is going to be in the South Metro and in parts of South Central Oklahoma. And like I mentioned before, we could see quite a bit of rain with these storms. So how much rain are we expecting? Well, in spots south of the Metro and in South Central Oklahoma, we could get quite a bit of rain that could cause some, at least temporarily, some flooding issues. Today, I think we're still going to make it into the mid and upper 80s for many of us, some low 80s just off to the south and east. Here's where that dry line's going to set up, basically just west of I-35, and so just south and east of I-44. I think that's where the storm chances will be highest, but we still have at least a chance of seeing rain and storms in the north and east. So a low threat for most, but the farther south you go, that's where that threat's going to be in that more moderate category. The tornado threat, it's going to be a little lower today, but it is still there. We could still see that isolated tornado basically along and south of I-44. Up to baseball size hail today, that would be very isolated in nature. I think if we do get any storms in Oklahoma City, we're looking maybe up to quarters to up to golf ball size hail, with isolated wind gusts up to about 80 miles an hour as well. And then overnight tonight, that threat for severe weather, it goes away quite a bit. Temperatures drop down into the upper 50s and low 60s. Overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, we're still going to have a slight chance of rain, maybe a couple of isolated storms, but to the south, the chance will start to increase because as we get into tomorrow, another round of rain and storms will be moving in. So temperatures coming down just a little bit, 70s to low 80s. The chance tomorrow afternoon and evening, I think it's going to be a little bit higher to the southwest, but that severe threat, spread, it's even lower. Really don't see a whole lot of severe weather for this weekend. That includes Mother's Day. By Mother's Day, because of all the clouds and the rain that we are expecting over the next several days, temperatures now down into the upper 60s in Woodward, low 70s in Oklahoma City, but still looking at the low 80s off to the east. That's where that chance of rain and storms will be a little bit lower, but rain and storms do look a lot more likely off to the west on Mother's Day, with that chance of rain and storms continuing into at least about midweek as we get into next week. And then things start to look a little bit quieter. We'll see how it all pans out. But today, you got to stay weather aware once again.
Absolutely. And you weren't kidding about just the storm chances over the next several days.
I know, lots of them.
All right, Cass, thanks.